ऑल इंडिया गोरखा लीग के अध्यक्ष मदन तमांग की हत्या कर दी गई है।
गोर्खाल्यान्ड दिँदिन भन्ने सरकारको हो।
Madan Tamang murdered at a public rally on Friday.
गोर्खाल्यान्ड हाम्रो अधिकार हो, हाम्रो कन्स्टिट्युसनल राइट हो।
Brutally murdered in broad daylight on Friday.
This is a revelation that you're witnessing in the hills right now.
सुभाष घिसिङले जनतालाई धोका दियो, सुभाष घिसिङ छोड्यो।
Well, for the first time in years, people in Darjeeling actually raised slogans against the Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha that's believed to have been behind that attack.
विमल गुरुङले जनतालाई धोका दियो, जनमुक्तिले त्यो पनि छोडेर जान्छ।
Madan Tamang will be more powerful in death than in life.
First of all, let us understand why Madan Tamang is recognized as forgotten hero of Gorkhaland Movement. Madan Tamang, the fearless leader of the Gorkhaland Movement, is often referred to as the forgotten hero. He dedicated his entire life to the cause of the Gorkha community, fighting for their rights and recognition. Tamang believed in non-violent means to achieve the goals of a separate state for the Gorkhas and stood up against the tyranny of violent tactics. His unwavering spirit and dedication inspired thousands to join the movement, as he tirelessly worked towards building a strong political foundation for the Gorkha community. Tragically, his untimely death on May 21, 2010 at the hands of political rivals robbed the Gorkha community of a visionary leader and left behind a legacy of unfinished dreams. Despite his immense contribution to the Gorkhaland movement, Tamang's name is often forgotten and his sacrifices are overlooked. It's time to pay tribute to this forgotten hero and remember his legacy. Tamang's vision and spirit continue to inspire the Gorkha community, and his contribution to the Gorkhaland movement will never be forgotten. His story serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made by countless individuals who fought for the rights and recognition of the Gorkha community. Now, let us understand how was he as a man. Madan Tamang, a man of hills, was born in a cowshed in Meghma on 1st June 1948 to Mr. Man Bahadur and Lamu Tamang, second wife and the fourth eldest, Saila, in a family with 16 children, which instilled in him a sense of responsibility and fraternity from an early age. He even had a favorite teacher named Sada Sir, who would give him his snacks of buteko makai and chia. During their tuition sessions, after completing his schooling in a local primary school in Meghma, Mr. Tamang joined St. Robert's School in Darjeeling, and it was during this period he became engaged in the Vasa Andolan movement during 1967 and 1968. He put up posters all over town on his way to school in favor of Nepali Bhasha Manyata. He joined St. Joseph College and was elected as a student councillor. Despite being a vocal supporter of education among youth, Mr. Tamang did not bother to collect his graduation degree from college. Mr. Tamang was quite fond of singing and would often participate in his college cultural fest. But despite of all his accomplishment, Mr. Tamang remained a humble and down-to-earth person. He was known for his warmth and compassion, and many people held him in high regard for the help he gave them during tough times. He even acted as a mentor and financial guardian to the Bhutanese refugees. In his free time, Mr. Tamang loved gardening and had a particular fondness for rhododendrons, guras. He planted over 3 lakh of them on a hillside in Meghma and even had over 60 varieties of guras at his home near Batase. Despite his kindness and generosity, Mr. Tamang was often misunderstood by the public due to his somewhat snooty and arrogant demeanor. But those who knew him best knew that he had a heart of gold and never forget important occasions like birthdays. Sadly, he was assassinated on 21st May 2010 on Darjeeling on his son's birthday, a tragedy that left his loved ones devastated. Now let us discuss about his political journey. Late Madan Tamang was attracted to politics at a young age, as I said while studying at Science Roberts in Darjeeling, Mr. Tamang used to volunteer putting up posters in support of Bhasa Andolan while on his way to school. On completion of his schooling at St. Roberts, Mr. Tamang plunged into politics and joined the Akhil Bharatiya Gorkha League (ABGL) under the then charismatic leader Deo Prakash Rai. During the 70s, Madan Tamang headed Tarun Gorkha, the youth wing of the ABGL, and immediately shot into the limelight with his oratory skills. He was made the district secretary of the ABGL in 1977 but resigned in 1980 due to the difference in opinion with the senior leadership of the party. The same year, he joined a new outfit called Prant Parishad and spearheaded a campaign along with other apolitical organizations like the Nepali Bhasha Manyata Samiti to include the Nepali language in the 8th schedule of the constitution. Madan Tamang was the first person to be arrested for the Gorkhaland cause. Tamang also worked closely with Subhas Gising during the initial days of Prant Parishad. I have already made a detailed video on this. You can go to the description box and check the video. The fallen hero of Gorkhaland movement, Subhas Gising. Gising later on floated the GNLF and slowly started overshadowing the Parishad with the statehood demand. By 1986, the entire hills were with Gising, but Tamang refused to join him as he fundamentally differed from Gising in the use of violence as a means of achieving statehood. At the height of the Gorkhaland agitation between 1986 and 1988, Tamang was the only visible individual who spoke fearlessly against the GNLF while still residing in the hills. In 1992, Tamang floated the Gorkha Democratic Front (GDF) when the GNLF started opposing the inclusion of Nepali language in the constitution. The GNLF wanted the nomenclature to be changed from Nepali to Gorkhali during the incorporation of the language in the constitution. Finally, the language was incorporated as Nepali/Gorkhali in the constitution. After his success with the Nepali language agitation, Tamang laid low for a while until 2004 when he joined the ABGL again. Madan Tamang not only fought for the Gorkhali cause in India but was also concerned for Gorkhalis everywhere. This was evident when he participated in the Mechi Peace March with Bhutanese refugees. Tamang was the first leader to raise his voice against the corruption within the Darjeeling Gorkha Hill Council and later the 6th schedule championed by the GNLF. He defied GNLF-sponsored strikes to address public meetings against the inclusion of the hills in the 6th schedule of the constitution. Madan Tamang researched on a subject intensely before forming his opinion, and this served him well when he went to Delhi to present the case against the inclusion of Darjeeling Hills in the Scheduled 6th of the Indian Constitution. His testimony before the Parliamentary Standing Committee, which lasted for almost an hour, impressed the committee members so much that Mr. Lal Krishna Advani said, "Mr. Tamang, we need to meet again. I am very impressed." GJM was identical to that of GNLF, and that was totally unacceptable to Madan Tamang. Tamang's vocal opposition of the GJM led to attack on his house, his vehicle, and the party house. He never stopped voicing his views and used the internet platform like YouTube to communicate public. Madan Tamang's dream was to see the formation of a separate state of Gorkhaland, and he was the only person to warn the people of Darjeeling Hills against GJM selling out to the state government by accepting an interim setup instead of Gorkhaland. They feared him, and that's why they had to silence him, said a senior politician. His assassination. The attack on Madan Tamang on May 21, 2010 was a premeditated and brutal act of violence. Despite the threat to his life being known to his close associates, Tamang believed that no one from the Darjeeling hills would harm him. मलाई दार्जिलिङको मान्छेले हेला गर्ला तर मार्नु चाहिँ मार्दैन is what he used to tell his fellow party workers on ABGL Foundation Day rally, which had already been postponed once due to the GJM Women's Wing not allowing ABGL to convey the meeting in Chowk Bazaar. However, a mob of around 100 to 150 people descended on the ABGL meeting venue from Chaurasta and hacked him to death at around 9:30 am. The attack took place in view of entire Darjeeling-based media and around 40 armed police personnel, indicating that the assailants were not afraid of being caught or punished for their actions. The incident caused widespread shock and outrage not only in Darjeeling but also in other parts of India. The aftermath. The aftermath of Madan Tamang's assassination was marked by a widespread outrage, protest and solidarity rallies around Darjeeling and India. Citizens of the town were horrified by the incident and decided to shut down business and schools as a sign of protest. The GJM initially tried to maintain normalcy but failed to do so as the people kept the town completely shut down until Tamang's funeral. The protests started with a small candlelight rally and grew to include people from all walks of life, young and old, men and women marching together in silence. The show of solidarity and protest spread like wildfire across India, with peace rally being held in Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore. The funeral day witnessed over 15,000 people paying tribute to the slain leader and turning the funeral procession into an anti-GJM rally, tearing down GJM flags and Bimal Gurung's posters. It was the first time that people raised their voice against the GJM openly. The aftermath of Tamang's assassination was a turning point in the politics of Darjeeling, with the people expressing their anger and frustration against the politics of violence dominating the hills. Mrs. Bharati Tamang, the wife of Madan Tamang, was unanimously elected as the president of ABGL, and she vowed to continue fighting for Gorkhaland and seek the culprit of her husband's killer. The people have speculated, like many previous political assassinations that went unsolved, this one also went unpunished. It is indeed tragic that the most vocal proponent of Gorkhaland was murdered in the broad daylight for voicing his protest for Gorkhaland and nothing else. Justice is still awaited in this heinous daylight murder of Gorkha's son. He represented the best in all of us. He represented what a Gorkhali should be. He represented the fierceness, the dedication, the fearlessness, the selfishness, the determination, and the loyalty to the cause for which the Gorkhalis are renowned, said Prativ Khati, who was like son to late Madan Tamang.